Good evening, YouTube. The Beeman 1022. Well, it's also a 177. Just pull out this barrel, throw in the next one. Away you go, eh? Comes with a scope, 4x32. At least that's what they say it is. And, well, this is also a 32. And, yeah, I'd say they're pretty close anyways. I'd say it's more like about maybe a 28. But this is my 6x leaper. This is a really good scope. This is like almost 200 bucks. And it's never let me down in years that I've had it. And fantastic locking tours. There's no way it's going to get boogled. Anyways, I've even tried that. And of course it doesn't even come back far enough even with the scope stop. I got to really crank up on there. And not happening, dude. So... But this is a scope I also put aside for my Savage 64F whenever the hell Savage is done fixing the bloody thing and figuring out what the heck went wrong with a brand new gun. But anyway, so I've been shooting this thing today. This is my second one, as many of you know. And, well, at least the scope will bore sight without any issue and have lots of left, right, up, and down left. I still can't get it into group. I've got RWS Super H Point 14.5, Hobby 11.9s, 15.89, the hell are these again? Hades, 16 grain Predator Polymags, Crossman 14.3 Destroyers, and I even got some of these Barracudas that are actually more made for my PAL gun. These suckers are oh crap, how heavy are these little buggers? 21.14 grain. They're pretty friggin' heavy. And they're made by H&N Sport. Anyhow, second rifle, at least this scope, like I said, it does dial. But it won't hold zero anywhere. It's definitely, it's a crap scope, to be honest. I even threw my leaper scope on there, which had a little bit of improvement. At least I got 2 bullseyes and then it started going weird. Which I'm not sure what the hell's going on, because I know there's nothing wrong with my leaper scope. This thing would be suitable for like a pump-up gun or a CO2 gun, but not a Springer, you know. I really don't care what they say. It's not a Springer grade scope. It gets vibrated way too much, and this is a non-PAL air gun, so under 500 feet per second. One of the biggest problems here is this side here. The clickers, they do click, but they're loose. They're not snug. The elevation is snug and the clickers click, so it's not holding left or right all that great, and up and down is kind of a crapshoot either way. So I thought, all right, well, let's try the open sights, because I have heard a few comments that the open sights on this should work really well. So I got a target down there at 13 yards, which that's fine by me, because I only had 2 purposes for this, well, a 22 caliber non-PAL gun. One, I'm allowed to shoot the non-PAL air guns at the house here, and I've got an adequate backstop for that. I do not have adequate backstop for regular firearms or a PAL rated air gun, because mine's over 1,000 feet per second. So it's like, damn! Anyways, so kind of sucks a little bit, but that's the way it goes. This thing though, you can change the barrels between 22 and 177, and my cleaning kit will be in tomorrow from Amazon, so I can properly clean that barrel. But well, this thing's not even dialing anywhere close with anything yet on the scopes. And open sights are not my favorite, because I am getting old, and so are my eyes. So we're going to fire a couple shots downrange here, and we're going to see what happens. Maybe the open sights will be fine, because they don't budge, right? That didn't sound like a healthy shot. So, now the gun does have plenty of power. With 11.9 grain hobbies, this thing cronied out pretty steady at 505. And it actually did pretty good with the other pellets we tested too. So either way, we got lots of knockdown power for taking down grouse and, well, smaller squirrels, bunny rabbits. I mean, I hate to have spent all this money on a gun I can't use a scope on. Now, I'm sighted in for about 14 yards in the backyard. I'm deer hunting, and I get to deer hunt in the backyard with my bow. And I got my doe tag this year, so I should get my doe pretty quick. But I do get grouse back there. I got one last year out of several. I had to do it with my bow. The last year I also didn't have my PAL, so that kind of sucked. And now you have to have a PAL to hunt for small game with a non-PAL air gun. It's stupid. I'm aiming at the exact same center spot every time to the yellow. And I can even see from here with crappy eyeballs. I don't even think I hit it yet. Then again, we got to mess around with the elevation on this thing. I'll say this, it does seem to, it feels like it jumps less when you don't have a scope. I don't know why. Kind of interesting. All right, let me go grab that target. Well, guys, it doesn't get much more pathetic than this, I guess. That's what we're dealing with for grouping here. That's with the open sights. I gotta honestly say I'm really disappointed, to be honest. Do I have any other stickers here? Oh, we got a green. I'm definitely disappointed in the gun, that's for sure. I don't think it's worth much, to be honest. I think financially this was a really big mistake. Problem is, my buddy Marty, who passed away a few years ago, he's an old codger. Just give me a second. Now, he had this rifle himself, and he liked it. The thing was dead nuts accurate. And I think I even shot it once in his basement, and it was fine. Doesn't mean they're all gonna be. My buddy in Valcarin, I think that's where he lives. Anyway, he has one too. He hasn't really told me much about accuracy, but he agrees it's a pretty friggin' bitchin' heavy trigger pull. Like, this is not for a kid, even though it's non-PAL. Kid's not gonna be able to pull that trigger too easy. It's more like a older teen or adult, right? So, I don't know, but it's not looking good for the home team right now with this thing. And with not being able to get anything to even remotely group, it kind of really does suck. I mean, we should get somewhere at least reasonable, even with its own scope. But even with the iron sights, I mean, at least the iron sights are a little bit better for holding something near. Let's try some of these Hades pellets again. This is my first time shooting this thing with friggin' iron sights. So, now I like Hades because these things are damn deadly. They're 15, 8, 9 grain. They're great for small game. even a non-PAL gun. I used to use these in the Predators in my 2240 that I built. I jerked it. So we'll fire a few down and see what happens. For a Springer, it's typical twang. Now these aren't cheap pellets, but it don't matter what you pay for them. The gun will always choose. And they claim the factory scope to be air gun rated. I guess otherwise they wouldn't put one on it, right? Ha! Tell me another joke. Now, without shooting the 177 barrel, and like I said, I don't care because I bought this for a 22 cal, not for the 177 part. And their cheaper option is a piece of garbage and really lousy reviews. So that's the only two options I had in store. So I don't know what stage 3 is going to be, because he did say if I had any more problems, call him. Well, guess what Kevy's doing in the morning? Giving him a call and say, okay, what's next, because this thing's junk. Be right back. Let's check it. Oh, this is pretty crappy results too. We already did a grouping test on this thing. And every time you do one, everything changes. First time though with the open sights, and well, they're not doing any better than the friggin' scope. You know, I mean, and that's not acceptable. I've been shooting air guns my whole life. Big time modder, many of you know, okay? And I can usually dial anything in. But this thing I don't think has much hope. The only thing I've done to this thing was 2 drops of silicone oil down the chamber earlier today. And, you know, a little bit on the O-ring because you kind of need to. But I fired off probably, I don't know, an easy 100 plus rounds or more just today on this thing. And to be quite honest, I don't think it's worth anything that they're asking for them. It's just a garbage gun is all it is. The trigger's so heavy, it makes it very hard to keep a steady position. The open sights, I mean, they're crushed really tight together on the rear. So, and you've got a red one up front, which is not a big deal, but it's to get that lined up just so right. And the red kind of almost, depending on your target background, might disappear on you. But either way, I mean, I do like the design of, you know, being able to slide it up and down. It's kind of the same thing as my Rossi 410-22 with the 22 barrel. Same kind of design. But the factory scope is junk. My leaper scope is perfect, but it doesn't matter. It can't go back far enough without being right up on here on it. And well, you can only do that so much, you know, and it's like, it's just, you need a full length scope. is what you need. You need a real full-length scope that's got plenty of movement. Now, even though this is not quite full length, it has enough that it does get back here far enough for your eye relief. Also, this is unscrewed more than half the tube length plus to get it to focus at 13 yards. That's another bad point. The rainbow effect in it is very, very visible. So it's got really shit optics, okay? It's just garbage. I've had some cheap scopes, man, but this one takes the cake really bad. So as far as I'm concerned, I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do for me this time. I don't know if I'll get a refund. I'm definitely not trying another one. There's no point because, you know, it's a nightmare here. It's a neat thing though. I like the storage compartment. I like the universal cheek piece, both sides. I mean, and it's perfectly ideal for us lefty guys because we can just reach our finger right over and take the safety off. Now, here's another thing you have to know. You can't put the safety on at any time yourself. It's automatic. And once you take it off of safe, you cannot put it back on safe, nor can you safety decock the gun. You must have a pellet and fire the pellet. I mean, I don't know. It's dumb. I wouldn't give this thing more than a 2 out of 5, in all honesty. It really honestly does not even deserve that. Open sights, I can't. I'm holding, I'm fine. I fire, I'm fine, but it's so erratic. It's just all over, and it doesn't matter what pellet. I can't get anything to do anything for me at all, and that's bad. If I had some kind of hope, then I'd just say, well, let's try a couple other types of pellets that are out there. But, you know, it's not going to do it from the looks of things. And we still got a piss-ass piece of crap scope. That's the worst part. The scope is really bad. And I'm not going to spend $200 or $300 or, you know, even $100, $150 on a new scope, because then I got almost, you know, too much tied in. $220 is already too much. This thing, to me, I don't know. It's not worth much of anything, really. I'm kind of really disappointed in this thing. I'm more disappointed with open sights as well, because even the open sights are not really helping that much, other than that I can stay steadier, which is great, and consistent, but we cannot even get any kind of consistency in a grouping. You should be able to shoot at 13 yards with any Springer gun and easily attain bullseyes with some practice, you know, but you should also be able to sight something in without too much difficulty. You know what I mean? And this thing is it's just being just that, a major difficult pain in the rear. So I don't know. You have your opinion, I've got mine. If they don't give me a refund so I can go buy a real air gun somewhere, I don't know what I'm going to do at that point. But I do know that this certainly does validate a refund in my books, no matter what. I have a right as a consumer to have a product that functions properly and will group and will shoot accurately, and this isn't doing any of that on any level. So, and well, this won't even hold 0, so there you go. But anyway, that's it. See ya.